Last year, Tested and I were invited behind the scenes of HBO's House of the Dragon during its season 2 production. We'll take you behind the scenes where craftspeople are painstakingly making props and weapons for the show. They're engineering dragon riding rigs and designing the iconic trappings of Westeros. Let's dive in. All right, Ellie, really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
You are the Props Supervisor on this show.
Correct.
Tell me what that entails.
So I am in charge of making sure that everything that has been written into the script, as well as anything insinuated by the script that could be handheld, appears on the day at the right time, suitable to what the director needs, the actor will be suitable to, and also what the showrunner likes.
So every object in this universe on this show comes through your hands from concept to execution?
If it's handheld, yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have about 150 makes this year, which get made by the prop making department, or like if it's made of timber, it gets made by the carpenters.
Right.
We have a team of painters in both props and prop making that handle the props for me. We have a concept artist, we have buyers. Everything is purchased and embellished, made from scratch from a concept or a technical drawing.
And if it's made from scratch, is it made in different techniques depending on how the prop gets used and how long it gets needed?
It's how long it takes to make it, how much the actor needs to use it, but also like, is it fit for purpose? We'll make some things out of metal, we'll fabricate other things completely, and that's entirely based on like what process that prop needs to go through. Like take for instance the dragon eggs, some last year had to be put on the fire, so they were made of a fire resistant material, whereas another one had to be thrown in action, so we had to make sure it was soft so it didn't hurt the actor if it was fumbled.
Right. And so wow. So it's not just every object, it's multiples of every object.
Multiples of every object, correct.
There are some beautiful objects on this table. Can you, well, first of all, they thrilled me because they weigh about an ounce.
Yeah, our prop making department have very cleverly 3D printed those.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because manacles are quite heavy, so if you have an actor in them all day, it's eventually going to get to be a bit of a drag.
Sure.
So they 3D print them.
And then they wear them all day without complaint, like a good prisoner.
Yeah. Yeah.
You must get affectionate about some of these props.
Yeah, I definitely have favorites.
You do?
Yeah, I definitely have favorites, and especially anything that like weighs the right amount, like for the prop that it is, or like, but actually it's a bit like, if it's surprising when you pick it up, that's the prop you want. So the things that are lightweight that people don't expect to be lightweight can often be the best.
In terms of how magical they feel to the performer. Now, as a longtime maker, I gravitate towards the toolkits.
So this is Alice Rivers' toolkit. So my hope is that this gets seen very heavily in episode 6
These
this year.
are real tools.
Yeah, this was made by a lovely blacksmith that we've had working for us.
They are almost sharp. Actually,
I did cut myself on them.
Did you really?
We had to blunt them.
So your blood is on the props.
Yeah, literally. When the actress came in, I did have to warn her that they were actively sharp.
Amazing.
And that if she wanted to use one in action, I would leave it sharp, but that otherwise I'd blunt it. And she was like, okay, cool, I'll be careful. So that was this set. And then the leatherwork behind it was done by the leatherworker Damon in Prop Makes.
Yeah, I talked to him about some saddles.
Yeah.
This must have been an absolute pleasure for the blacksmith you hired to do this.
Oh, yeah, I think he really enjoyed himself. And actually, he's moved on to another job for us, which is Alan of Hull's razor that he uses to shave his head.
Oh, fantastic.
Which I've done a little drawing of over here.
Oh.
Not everything makes it to concept because we have so many things to concept. So sometimes if it's something
right
simpler,
to execution.
I can just do a scribble and we send that out. That's happened a few times.
Amazing.
We have a lot of things to do.
You're designing as well.
Yeah, I've tried to. There's a few things that start out as a little sketch by me, but in the majority of things will be starting out as concepts or straight purchases. We spend a lot of time on Etsy, finding people that make things either historically accurately or slightly different. And then we contact them and we might say, oh, we really like your work, but we'd actually like something very specific.
Yeah.
Would you like to help us out? Can you sign this NDA? Then we can talk. And, the majority of them are like, yes, please.
Many of them smell who it might be.
I think our delivery address might give it away.
Sure.
But I can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah.
Bit of that.
You must get an eye after a while for Like at the beginning, I would imagine you're like, I don't know if this object that I'm about to buy fits within the universe. But after a few months, you're like, yes, yes, no, no, yes, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of get a sense of like what's going to arrive. But I mean, there's a lot of times when we order stuff and it turns out to be either really, really tiny or really, really big, and you have no sense of it because
people take those pictures without reference.
And honestly, I'll show you some cricket cages. I hadn't googled the size of a cricket or anything like that. I thought they were like going to be big old guys.
Yeah.
Crickets are really tiny, apparently.
Oh, show me.
Look at the size of this thing.
You thought this would be three or four times
this big.
That's hilarious.
It's always funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, the amount of goblets I've bought that are either like that big or like that big. And you can do nothing about it.
I'm gravitating towards this other toolkit here. Tell me about this. This is beautiful, this open frame.
So this is based on a historically accurate sort of surgical kit
Really?
from the 1400s that we found online.
Gruesome.
Although I think the Venn diagram of surgical kit and butchery probably I think it's a circle.
Yeah, exactly.
And then this came from a sketch I did that went to the concept artist because I sort of explained to him that I wanted to be able to shoot through and get like a really good angle on the props so they could stand up on the table.
Yeah.
Because every time you put something down flat on the table, you sort of lose it for half the scene until one thing's being used. And
you use that term off camera. You said it's a thing with props in the show. This idea of shoot through.
Yeah. So Set Deck will also do the same thing where they will provide dressing that involves like fretwork, so you can see light through it.
Yeah.
Which is what we've also incorporated into this maester's toolkit.
I love this.
You know, even if you were to take it away at the end of the scene,
right?
You'd find that you still can see the items.
Even though it's closed up.
Even though it's closed up.
So narratively, it's always letting you know where you are.
Yeah, so like if they have a particularly bloody surgery and this guy's leaving, this is a prototype.
This is so pretty.
You're never losing the props no matter what way they hold it.
I love this. You know, in Breaking Bad, there's always that shot of looking up from the inside of something.
Yes.
They loved that shot.
Yeah.
So I love the idea that this show has this shoot through as a way of bringing the atmosphere, bringing us into the sets.
Yeah, we try very hard to make sure, and then we're going to raise his leg in the same sort of language. So this will
beautiful.
Be we'll strap his leg into it so that he doesn't continue to hurt himself.
And this is just a size reference of how big it's going to be.
Yeah, so we like to do mock-ups and prototypes so that as we're chatting about it, directors can sort of understand the language of how we're talking about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes there are things like bones and stuff. You just go to an abattoir and buy a bunch of bones?
Yeah, you can buy them at the butchers. You can and then these two actually were picked by one of our directors only earlier.
Yeah.
And what he wants is somebody walking through like a dragon nest and like stepping on bones. So we're going to make these breakaway. So they're going to go into a mold and cast in prop making. They're going to come out so that essentially they can snap on camera.
That. Yeah.
Yeah. And then these little guys.
Which look like wrought. Oh my God, they are actually wrought iron.
They are wrought iron. So Little Scribble went to the blacksmith last year.
Really?
Yeah, and Sam Bailey, artist blacksmith, just went nuts with it. He is so talented. And he just sent us back 3 different versions of this size dragon that we used all over the place last year. I've sort of always tried to make them a Targaryen children's toy that all of the kids will have, sort of get used to this kid, you're going to be riding the dragon later in your life.
Yeah.
And then we've got these new little ones for this year just to sort of widen the parameters of that.
I love this. You know, in most shows and movies, when they want to show high craftsmanship, they're faking it. But you guys are doing it for real.
As much as possible, yeah. I mean, these coins are a testament to the prop makers as well, because there's some plastic ones on there and there's some real ones. And
man.
If you can find them.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, it feels I have an experience of coins. Right? Like,
yeah, and I think that really helps the actors as well, because it's the right weight of prop. It falls really nicely.
Yeah.
Like it holds really well in their hands. And, and when coins feel cold, you kind of get a sense of the value.
I really appreciate that you are thinking through what the actor's experience is, because the props are part of the performance.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah. I mean, it's as important for the prop to be right in their hand as it is when they're in like a more uncomfortable scene where no props are given to them.
Right.
You know, like it's there for a purpose and it has to serve it.
Now I'm curious. I'm curious if there's like a character has a sword that's a specific sword for them. Do you go through a process of the actor being part of the prop making process?
I would say you would need to talk to Armory about swords.
Fair enough.
Very
Right,
sorry.
sure.
I don't
With
do,
swords,
I don't do the
understood.
pointy ones.
Yes. The pointy props.
The pointy props that belong to Armory.
Well, if you're working on a prop that is really specific to a character, do you sometimes wheel the actor into the development process?
When it comes to like fitting processes,
Yeah.
definitely. So last year we've done crab feeder mask, king's mask, Daemon's crown, and the crown of Aegon.
Can we go
Targaryen.
look at some of this
Yes,
stuff?
absolutely.
Again, the first thing I noticed about the eggs is they're like twice as beautiful in person as anything I saw on camera, and they are gorgeous on camera.
Thank you very much.
I mean, the specular painting on this and the color variance is so gorgeous.
Would you like to try and find the soft one?
One of these is soft?
One of them is soft.
One of them is soft. It will be impossible. I'm going to guess this one's the soft one.
Do you want to pick it up?
It is!
You're very good. It's like you've done it before.
I just went for the one with the different texture. It wasn't as glossy.
It was not as glossy, but it did work quite well on camera. I don't actually think they used so this is the heavy version of it, which was under Baby Balon's cradle.
Right.
And then that's the soft version. But I think they just used the soft all the way through for that scene because the paint is so good on it.
It is so good.
Like what the prop makers can produce is unreal.
This is
Some train moss.
Oh my God, this is like so.
Do you want to do a swap? Have that one.
Oh, that's even better. This feels like it's got something in it.
Yeah, it's good and weighty.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
And then we have the crab feeder mask is a 3D print.
The crab feeder mask
Yeah.
is so beautiful.
Really happy
Again,
with that one.
every one of these pieces is even more beautiful than what I imagined. Tell me about how this development.
So Greg wanted it to sound like we were pitching that the crab feeder is sort of the 1.0 of the Sons of the Harpy, which are from Game of Thrones.
Okay.
So
Right.
pulling references from different masks, I come up with this idea, and Katie Hyatt, who's the 3D artist in prop making, helped me develop it. So we pitched this corner
Yeah.
as if the crab feeder is only trying to hide a little bit of his face, and then later on, as things developed on him, like story-wise, before we ever see him on camera,
Yeah.
said to Greg, like, I'd love to have two masks welded together, like one came first and then the other. And Greg really got on board with that, which was really nice. And
It's
then
lovely because we spent some time seeing the beginning of a half mask, right?
Yeah, I was really proud of it. The leatherwork actually is done by Armory Department, and then painted in gold, leafed by Ellie in prop painting.
The paint is, the reflection and the metallics there is just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, even this. So this is a 3D print and then brass plated, and this is gold leafed. But honestly, the reflections on both are so incredible you wouldn't nearly be able to tell the difference.
No, you totally wouldn't. And this is also, and I couldn't believe how light this is.
Again, a 3D print.
This is a 3D print?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
So bit of leather work, bit of metal work, and then these are cast jewels.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's great. It looks like real lead work hammered around, or iron work.
And then if you look closely, you can see Caraxes chasing people around.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh man. I love that, the story embedded within, but it looks like you were working towards doing that with almost everything.
I tried to make sure there's a story behind every prop. Yeah, because if there isn't, is there any point getting excited about it?
Oh, and the crowns are such a, this feels metallic.
So that is 3D printed and then copper plated and then nickel plated.
So you have a place out here that will do that for you?
Yeah, it's a place that prop making have called Morganics that they contact frequently for this kind of thing.
Yeah, there's one guy in LA who does this.
I think there's only one guy over here, isn't there?
Yeah. This is beautiful. I mean, again, for an actor to hold on to this, it feels like you're holding a real thing.
Do you want to try it on?
Yep, sure.
Go on.
Okay, here we go. This is the right way, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, it fits me absolutely perfectly. Oh, I guess I'm king.
I guess you're Aegon the Conqueror.
really, really lovely. Do you? It sounds like a gargantuan job, but it also sounds like you're having fun.
Oh yeah, I love my job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love my job. Yeah, I would. I don't want to work on anything else.
I will tell you. So I don't know what it's like in film, but when I worked in props and theater, I was unceasingly surprised by what even the amount of damage even the most diminutive actor could impart on a prop.
Yeah.
You have the same issues.
It's the if you've one prop, you've no props.
Because an actor's going to break it in half.
Repeats of things. Yeah. We actually only ever had one Damon's crown. For various reasons, and including development and cost of 3D printing, and just how long it takes to get those things done versus like just the system of like fitting it to an actor, because I had never done a crown before. It's normally a costume prop.
Right.
So in terms of like the research and development, that took quite a long time. So we ended up with only one. And on the day, he has to like kneel down and bow his head to the king. And myself and the standbys were standing on the edge just going, don't
fall.
He was very careful with it, thankfully. But we were all holding our breath. It was very tense.
Well, it's a thrilling walkthrough. Everything is just so beautiful. It's really lovely what you get to do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.